ẹ̀yin òṣèlú Nàìjíríà.
ẹ lọ ronú yín.
òṣèlú Nàìjíríà.
ẹ lọ ronú yín. kò dìgbà tí ẹ bá ń yàdá yọ̀bọ̀. kò dìgbà tí ẹ bá ń yàdá yọ̀bọ̀ o. òṣèlú Nàìjíríà ẹ lọ ronú yín.
ẹni bá gorí oyè.
Ọlọ́run ló lè sọ.
ẹni bá di president.
Ọlọ́run ló lè sọ.
ẹni bá di senator.
Ọlọ́run ló lè sọ.
ẹni bá di gómìnà.
Ọlọ́run ló lè sọ. kò dìgbà tí ẹ bá ń yàdá yọ̀bọ̀. kò dìgbà tí ẹ bá ń yàdá yọ̀bọ̀ o. ẹni fẹ́ gorí oyè Ọlọ́run ló lè sọ.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to African Heritage Television. On today, February the 4th, 2012, my name is Rukayat Ibrahim, and with me today is...
And I'm Rosemary Omobalaliasho. You are welcome to our program. We have a very interesting program for you today. We're going to be talking about news out of the hands of Africa, particularly about Nigeria and the latest news about AL-Mustapha.
What has happened to AL-Mustapha?
Oh my goodness. There are murder charges that has been levied against him for a long time. That's been in court since 1999. Finally came to an end on the 30th of January, and that was on a Monday, in the Lagos High Court, presided over by Justice Bijisola Dada, in which he was sentenced to death by hanging over the death of Mrs. Kudirat Abiola, the wife of Chief MKO Abiola, the man who won the 1993 elections. And sentenced alongside with him is Shefola Hon incident. Yeah, he was a former protocol officer
For MKO Abiola?
For MKO Abiola, but Al-Mustapha, on the other hand, was the chief security officer to the late General Sani Abacha.
Well, that's true. Ruka, what do you know about Mustafa's case, besides what she has stated?
There's really nothing more to add to the case, except for the case was in court for so long before they finally put justice to them on 30th of January, which to me is like the longest case ever that I've seen. Usually when they start a case like that, usually it takes within a year or two.
How old were you when they started the case?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Just to state that the case has been on for so long.
It has been.
Yes, I was old enough to know
1990.
what's going on.
12 years ago? 15 years ago? 16 years ago? Okay.
And of course, it's a very interesting case because right now it's generating a lot of buzz in Nigeria.
Before we even got there, what happens to the principle of justice delayed is justice denied?
I know, but well, we still have to find justice for Chief Mrs. Kudirat, who was murdered on the streets of Lagos in June of 1996. I don't believe that it's okay for you to just kill somebody and because the case has been denied. We've seen cases in the United States. If it takes them 20 years to find a killer, they will, and that person will be brought to justice. And I think that's what we're experiencing.
Okay,
now
but
in
it does
Nigeria.
not take them 20 years to find a killer in Nigeria.
I understand that.
So my question is this, and I think I've asked Festus Keyamo and some other leaders about this before. Al-Mustapha's case has actually, to me, it has taken a bend from a criminal case into a political case.
I agree with you.
It was so politicized to the level that it has divided the country into Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo.
Right. It's become more like an ethnicity and political
it has developed an ethnicity coloration.
Right.
And question for you, Rukaya. Do you think this is justice for Al-Mustapha?
Yes.
Or for Mrs. Kudirat Abiola?
It is.
How?
It is, because why would you have to kill innocent women fighting for the good
release of her husband?
Yeah. So why do you have to kill her? I think it's a good justice for him and the partner.
Do you think the evidence is overwhelming enough to convict Al-Mustapha?
You know, I'm not even going to go into the evidence part because truthfully, I don't know the details of the evidence, but one of the things that was striking to me is the fact that, of course it is Nigeria, is the fact that there seemed to be some kind of corruption embedded into this whole justice thing. Because when I was going through some of the articles that were sent to me, it stated that somebody was given money to implicate AL-Mustapha. So I feel like maybe, of course, being Nigeria, what it is, they may not have followed due process. And and I think that's what is bringing all this chaos. Like, some people believe that that's the reason in the first place that the case dragged for so long. There are some folks who believe that it's coming up. Why is it coming up now? Why didn't it come up in the times of Mayor Obasanjo?
Okay, if a case has dragged for so long, and you think you did not, you think the system does not, the prosecutor refused to follow due process, in such a case, do you still have to convict the person even when the prosecutor did not follow due process? Do you think he should be convicted when the prosecutor did not follow due process?
It shouldn't, because they have to follow the right process and know, like, make sure the right justice was administered. You don't just have to.
You yourself have said they did not follow due process.
Yes. That's from the articles. That's what I said before, that I really can't go into evidence because I don't know the details of it.
Okay, but if
based on the articles that was sent to me.
Okay, what kind of case is going to follow due process and will not have been concluded for 12, 13 years?
I don't know. Again, it's Nigeria.
People.
I'm trying to get more evidence and get more things to put together.
I don't even agree with that, Mr. Rukaya, because I don't believe that you should have a case in court and then go fish for evidence. I don't believe that. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have evidence, then throw the case out of court because you're not ready. What I'm saying is that we have to consider the woman who got killed.
Yes.
And I believe that before this man was sentenced to death, there's got to be sufficient evidence to do that. I mean, this is somebody's life too. We know that we already lost Miss Kudirat, but AL-Mustapha is somebody's family as well. I don't believe that.
Do you think if the case is tried in the north, do you think AL-Mustapha will be convicted?
No.
I don't think he will.
So what are we? Are they not going to be looking at the same evidence?
They're going to be looking at the same evidence, I know, but people are going to try to switch things around because you have to understand. Now they've turned this to ethnicity and political issue. So it's almost like the Hausas are fighting the Yorubas. The Yorubas just lost a woman who was a reputable woman in the society, and here is a man whom we to a reasonable extent know that he had something to do with his death. So it seems like everybody is defending their own.
If a case has gotten to this this level, what is the way out? Because to me, and I've said this 2-3 years ago, I remember on my radio program with Keyamo in Pittsburgh,
right,
I publicly called for the release of AL-Mustapha if there's no cogent evidence or reason to hold this man.
Didn't they say that he confessed under duress?
Well, if you confess under duress, that is not conviction. What confession? If you get your confession under duress, that means you force the person to talk. If Nigerian police tortured you, you will tell anybody that you killed your mom, even if your mom is still alive. So
and that's another thing. I think they need to take care of that nonsense where police feel like everybody in their custody is a slave, turn the person to a punching bag. That's why they're getting wrong information from people.
Nobody can accuse me of not wanting to unmask whoever killed Mrs. Kudirat.
Oh my goodness, no.
Because I know what I suffered when we were fighting for Kudirat's corner.
Right.
I know what happened to me in New York then. Together with the United Committee to Save Nigeria, I was a member. And our chairman is now in Osun State. I think it was one of the Jumoke Ogunke is his name. So nobody can accuse me. But if something has dragged for so long, you cannot convict this man within the first 2-3 years, and the man has been in jail for more than 12 years
without bail,
with no option of bail. Come on, it is good for a criminal to go than to punish an innocent man. That is not to say that Al-Mustapha is totally innocent.
Right.
That is not to say, but if you don't have enough evidence to convict him, don't buy a conviction. Don't buy a conviction, because Al-Mustapha, regardless of how obnoxious this man can be, or how arrogant, or how you are just, to me, Obasanjo was just being vindictive, and Al-Mustapha stayed in jail for this long because he breached the presidential security when he called Obasanjo straight on a line that is always been used by president of other country.
Right.
Obasanjo did not know how Al-Mustapha got that number, that phone number.
And you know, just to add to that, wasn't he the same person who was accused of trying to overthrow Obasanjo's administration?
That was why they said he was trying to overthrow Obasanjo right inside it. He was still in jail, and he called from the jail a number, he called Obasanjo from jail.
So they actually believe that a man that's locked up can actually overthrow him.
How? Yeah, because he has some. He has some contacts outside in the military. Don't forget that this man was a chief security officer of the dreaded Abacha, the tyrant Abacha.
He was a major too in the army.
So when you whip all this together, Obasanjo did not even allow a cogent trial during his 8 years. Although the offense was committed in Lagos, and Lagos has the right to try him. After all said and done, this man has been in jail since 1999.
That's a long time.
A trial that took about 12 years before you conclude it. It has detoured into so many things. And to tell you the honest thing about this, I do not feel that I don't know if he did it or if he did not, but too many people have benefited, or too many people had a hand in this, or too many people are just happy to see Al-Mustapha punished, even if he did not do it, for the role he played during the Abacha era. But 12 years imprisonment is a long time punishment for anybody, especially if he did not kill Kudirat Abiola. I don't have problem in this man, getting the death penalty if indeed
he actually did it.
He killed it, because I've said it on so many times that no killer should be allowed to go scot-free. But which and every one of them has not killed.
That's true. And you know, there
is it Obasanjo himself? Remember Itaoko? Is it Abdul Salam? Even this Jonathan? You order your security to shoot into defenseless people.
Yeah.
So which one of them has not killed? Does it matter if the life involved is Kudirat Abiola or just anybody, a no-name person on the street? I saw something this morning when people were trying to put tents on the road and stuff like that. No policeman was just there to watch them. Nobody was shooting a live bullet into the campus. In Nigeria, they will have been beating the crap out of them.
Yeah, that's the difference between the Western police
and the
Nigerian police.
And these people, I keep on saying this. They come here every day. They've seen it. What Shore did to these people in New York, to the minister in New York, if he tried in Nigeria, he will be shot.
Yep. Right.
You see, if it's good to do it here.
Beat him out of that.
When I was talking, both of you were in New York with me when I was talking to the president.
Yes.
And when the security officer of the president tried to rough-handle me, and the ambassador said, he should leave me alone and don't touch me. And what did the man say?
You come to Nigeria and do this.
Why don't you come to Nigeria and ask your stupid question?
And then, I mean, it just shows the barbaric nature of
how we operate in Nigeria.
Because I remember telling the guy, I said, look, you can talk to him, you can say whatever you want to say, but don't you put your hand on him.
You see, it takes us to what constitutes an offense in Nigeria.
Right.
Merely talking to somebody put an information on the Facebook against the governor, he was ordered to be arrested.
Are you serious?
Yes.
My goodness. Wow.
Just because I asked the president, I asked the president that, okay, we've been waiting for you since 7 a.m. and this is 7 p.m. And you just talk to us and you will not take questions.
Yeah.
We've been here since 7 a.m., Mr. President.
First, he was supposed to be there at 4.
He was supposed to be there 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, but then he went to the
He said
UN meeting
exactly.
or something. Well, he was officially supposed to speak with us about 3:30. He didn't show up till like 7 o'clock.
So if I happen to be in Nigeria and I ask this man the question I asked him that very day,
going straight to Kirikiri.
Right?
no, they will have
Kirikiri?
they will have beat the crap out of me.
Yes.
They will have tortured me to confess that I had a gun in my pocket and I wanted to shoot the president. That has always been the trademark. They always leave sorrow, tears, and blood. That is why we cannot buy anything they were saying. Even when if you've lied too much, we don't know which one is the truth.
Wow.
So when you lock AL-Mustapha up since 1999 or 1998, he was actually locked up by Abubakar Abdul Salam. Yes.
So he's been
in jail since 1998. And I just don't know. So it's been so long. Even if this man will be convicted, or even if this man is going to serve life 25 years, 12, 13 years is gone out of 25 years already. Okay, that is one way of looking at the whole evidence and stuff like that. But now that he has been convicted, sent to die by hanging. With Shofala or Shofala.
But he's appealing it though.
Yes.
Do you think oh, go ahead. Finish up so I can ask you this question.
Now that he has been convicted of murder,
and
he has been sent to go and hang by...
condemned to death by hanging.
Look at what has happened now.
It's created a lot.
The very first day I heard this statement, what did I say? I said, look, I even put it on my wall on Facebook that I dare the president to kill this guy.
Yes.
To carry out that judgment of that penalty. And somebody was like, why did you say that? I said, this president does not have the guts to do that.
So the guy actually might be in the jail for another
He might be in jail for
until somebody
who can actually who has enough willpower to say, okay, I'm going to either enforce the judgment or I'm going to overturn this judgment or I'm going to commit it to this. But immediately after the judgment, the northern part of Nigeria kicked against the judgment.
Boko Haram has actually threatened war if the man ever gets killed.
Boko Haram said, no, we're not going to agree. There's too much. I wouldn't blame them. If the man has been judged within 2, 3, 4 years and the judgment has been passed, when the act was committed, nobody will be saying this.
But
it just seemed like, it just seemed
12,
like
13 years, and you did not add one single grain to that evidence you've collected since all these days. So it's not about evidence gathering.
So the case was just there, just sitting down there.
Exactly.
Cold. Wow.
An idiot from the Niger Delta in the name of Asari Dokumbo.
Oh yeah, yes.
The leader of the Niger Delta militant group said that the Yorubas teleguided the judgment. That the Yorubas did it just because they want Jonathan out.
Frustrate Jonathan's regime.
And he was asking he was just picking on the Yorubas, but he was asking a valid question. But the way he did it was very,
in the right way.
Yes. Obasanjo did not get a conviction during his time. And Obasanjo stayed for 8 years. You cannot convict this man. Why? Because Obasanjo does not want the eruption that is going to happen from the north.
Happen in his
under his administration. Yar'Adua spent 2 years. Nothing happened.
Talk about it.
Because if this man was condemned to death during Yar'Adua's time, it would have been an uproar, and Yar'Adua was from the north. So his hands will be tied.
Right.
If you pardon him, they're going to say, oh, you pardon him because he's your fellow northerners. And if you said carry out these judgments, the Northerners will kick against it. So it was just being made like a stone lie between, egg lie between two big stones. So what is the way forward now? Everybody has been...
I have no clue what the way forward is. Because the way I'm looking at it is, I hope this does not generate into something else. Because keep in mind, it's been predicted a long time ago that Nigeria will break up by 2015. Are we seeing preludes to it? Is that what is happening with all this Boko Haram? And then this, while the country's security is still in a mess, then we have to deal with this whole issue. And now, I don't know if he did it. But if he did, is he above the law? Well, is the judgment or the timing wrong? I mean, there's a lot of questions in everybody's mind. But we don't want this to now start an ethnicity type war or even generating into civil war or civil unrest in Nigeria, because it seems like we're heading there. And it's scary.
If he's killed, I think
it's going to create a lot. Yes.
But good, gracious God has given us the wisdom to allow this man to appeal. This is not the Supreme Court.
Right.
The man can appeal to appeal court, the Court of Appeal or whatever they call it. Then from Court of Appeal, if you get the same government, you can go to the higher court, to the Supreme Court.
Now, what are his chances
of
winning this? With the appeal.
To me, it's becoming too political. Now the northern emirs have sprung up. Even they call them Arewa, the Arewa leaders.
Oh my goodness!
The Arewa leaders have gone up. They had a meeting 2 days ago that AL-Mustapha should not be killed. What surprised me most was an Oba from Ofa in Kwara State joining the Arewas of the
That's your state. She's smiling like, are you serious? Are you talking about my state?
He's going to say something about Kwara State.
No. Oh, come on, man. Why would you, an Oba from Ofa in Kwara State, Ofa is a predominantly Yoruba state, Yoruba town. Why would he join the Arewa North? The Arewas are northern group with the northern Obas.
Solidarity.
Maybe they have some
I am
connection.
on your side. That's what they're trying. That's what he's trying to say.
They're trying to make. They're trying to get Yoruba Obas that will play.
That's what I'm saying.
Along with them.
I'm on your side. I'm a Yoruba man.
And they saw a scapegoat in the Olofa of Ofa.
Probably got some money too. Nigeria. Probably got a little check.
So they gather together and they appeal to the president not to kill or not to carry out the judgment. Nobody is going to carry out a death penalty the same day.
Same day. I know that, but since when
you are asking me the chances of Mustapha.
Yes, right.
Chances are Al-Mustapha will not be killed. I can bet 70 to 30 or 80 to 20 or 90 to 10 that this guy will not be killed. Which one of the presidents has the guts to carry this out? The only president that has the guts to carry that problem will have been Buhari. But I don't even think that Buhari think that Al-Mustapha is guilty. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he's guilty or not.
I don't know either. I don't know. I just want justice to take its course. If he's the one that did it, then he should face the
Al-Mustapha has stepped on too many toes. And every one of those people wants their pound of flesh.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that was what it is. And somebody said something that was profound. His name is Brigadier General Tajuddin Olanrewaju. Brigadier Olanrewaju was one of the people framed in the Dia coup.
Okay. Don't know much about him, but okay.
Okay. The Dia coup was Dia was the number 2 to Abacha,
Right.
and he was said to have tried to overthrow his boss, and he was arrested together with some of his boys.
Okay.
Brigadier Tajuddin Olanrewaju was one of
his boys.
With Brigadier General Adisa of late memory from Kwara State. They were arrested and they were tried. They were convicted to death together with Dia, Olanrewaju, and Adisa. But what actually happened was they were on that death penalty before Abacha died.
Oh.
So Brigadier Tajuddin Olanrewaju was the first person I was interested in talking to. And he said that, look, a death penalty is something that is not a joke. He said they were condemned to death. And anytime he heard a footstep coming to his cell, his heart jumps up that, okay, maybe they're coming to take us, they're coming to kill us.
Goodness.
So he said that he will advise everybody that is involved to even squash the death penalty, even if AL-Mustapha committed that crime.
Throw him in jail.
Put him in life if you are sure, if you are even sure, because in their own case, nobody was sure that they committed this offense, and they were condemned to death. So he knew what they went through.
Right.
So, and he said he would not wish it on anybody. And mind you, who do you think set everybody up in that coup? It is the same Mustapha. So a whole lot of people really want to pay Mustapha back with his own coin. So that was why so many people were paying so many people to make sure that Mustapha was convicted. And Mustapha might know something about Kudra's death. I'm not saying he did not know anything. But the evidence on ground, the evidence for this conviction does not match it. The intelligence gathering, the evidence gathering of Nigerian police suck.
It does.
The evidence in which they convicted AL-Mustapha with cannot stand a chance of conviction in any Western court.
If the gloves don't fit,
you must acquit.
There you go.
It does not mean that OJ did not do it.
Yeah.
But the glove just does not fit.
Right.
An international reporter covered AL-Mustapha trial. He said,
yeah, I think he said something.
He said he was shocked that people from the north and people from the south were arguing in court.
Right. While the south
nobody was looking at the evidence.
Yeah.
The Yoruba wants conviction. The Hausas wants him to be released, him to be freed. So where do we go? We can't even convict. We cannot even use the evidence gathered or the intelligence gathering or whatever we gather against this man to convict him. And who happened to be the judge? Arrest my case. And what would have happened if an Hausa judge freed Mustapha?
It still would have been chaotic because the people from the south will be like, oh, it was because it was an Hausa.
You see,
do they have the jury system in Nigeria?
No.
They need to. They need to
How?
start that.
The juries in Nigeria will be
get an Igbo man, an Hausa man, an FC man.
They will all be settled the way Al Capone tried to settle all the jury, including the judge.
My goodness. So what
we are in the business of settlement back home.
Oh my, well, do we have to continue like that?
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't know, because you know what?
Ask Ruka, because both of you are the one going to Nigeria. I already know my fate if I go to Nigeria.
It's crazy, but
it's just getting worse and worse as the time goes on.
Right, we talk about it day in, day out. What is the solution? I mean, what can be done? Whom do we talk to? I mean, what can we do? This is crazy. It's been on like that before I was born, and it stayed there. And I don't want my children to be here and deal with this madness. It's crazy.
Welcome to Nigeria.
Oh my goodness.
You will be lucky if your grandchildren and great-grandchildren did not witness what we are witnessing now. Because we are not moving towards any kind of change.
But how can we not move towards any kind of change when most of these guys studied in the Western world, went to some of the best schools in the world? Can you take something out of these civilized countries and then take it back home?
They did, but you just never put it into use.
They did, and they put it into use.
How?
They're flying jets like those. Okay, pastors are flying jets now here. I mean, in the US, there are so many pastors with private jets.
But they don't have like 4 or 5.
In Nigeria, you have the Oyedepos and the Redeemed pastors flying jets. Very soon, you'll find Alhajis and Imam having private jets in Nigeria too.
And because Nigerians always have a way of taking it to the next level. So while the pastors here have 1 private jet, a pastor
Nigerian
has
pastors
4.
are having 4 private jets. And you know what? The Alhajis will start flying private jets too. And the Imams. The chief Imam will graduate from getting a Mercedes-Benz from the government and be asking for private jets now. You watch. Because it is a momentum now.
It's so sad. And
It is
there's
a
so
momentum
much
now.
money in that country. We don't even need to be hiding in someone else's
Question
country.
for you. Do you think Nigeria is broke?
No. Broke? Financially broke?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Because that was the only reason the president wants to remove the subsidy, oil subsidy.
He needs to quit eating with 1 billion naira in a year. We're not broke. He's spending 1 million naira in a year. What are you eating?
1 billion,
Maybe
1 billion.
I mean, 1 billion.
Maybe he wants to increase his budget for
Yeah.
food.
That's
Maybe
what.
he needs
Yeah,
more
he has
Maybe he has
1
to get all that from all the poor Nigerians.
Doesn't he have 2 children? I think he only has 2 children and a wife, and they spend 1 billion naira.
He has a wife? Oh, a wife. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because
Are we still on the same page?
Nigerian
here?
president never have 1 wife.
Are we still on the same page?
There was a governor of Adamawa State. He has 4 wives, and they were asking him which one of them will be your first lady. He said it depends on where I am. If I'm in Abuja, I have a wife in Abuja. She's going to be my work with. If I'm in Adamawa,
I should give him a high five. Go ahead, brothers.
I love that.
All of them get to act in one way or the
I
other.
love that, man.
Oh my goodness.
So you don't think Nigeria is a poor country?
No, I think we are very rich. I think we are rich in human resources. We are rich in natural resources. It is just been mismanaged by this group of people who call themselves leaders.
You think so too?
We have enough money in Nigeria.
We have enough money for us, as those of us in the diaspora, not to be here, to come in school and go back home.
Ladies and gentlemen, viewers out there, Rosemary and Rukaya just said that we have enough for our need.
We do.
But we do not have enough for everybody's
greed. Right, right.
If the leadership of the country stop being greedy, maybe you and I will go back home. But unfortunately for you, I and Ms. Rukayat,
we can't even do this in Nigeria.
we have tested the Western way of doing things. Talking when we need to talk.
And telling it like it is.
Telling it like it is. Or like we see it.
Yeah, right, right.
It is going to be very, very difficult for us to go back home and somebody said they're going to cow us. They're going to punch us into submission. I'm too old for that. I can't pronounce what I want to say.
I know. I told you one time I was in the office to have an interview and I was told I have to send in my questions. I said, honey, I don't send my questions before interview. If your governor or whatever, whoever he is, can answer the question, then we have the issues that he doesn't state. Don't tell me to send in my questions. Why would you want to look at my questions in the first place?
Because they're not interested in you asking.
Yeah, they're on the spot. Like, okay,
they hard questions.
Right.
And what do you do with 2-3 billion security vote within 3 months?
Right, right.
When you are not securing anything.
Right.
And why would you have to award the same road about 2-3 times within a year? They don't want questions
They
like
don't want questions. And I told them, I
the
said,
question
look,
they want is, Mr. Governor, you just commissioned the road leading to. And I saw 5,000 people. Yes, I commissioned that road. We were walking. We just capacity building. We sent so people to.
That's great, Mr. Governor. How do you relax at home? That's very good.
But for how long will that?
Crazy.
For how long? Every survey that comes out is either putting our country in the dead last on the civilization run, or putting us one out of number 1 to 4 when it comes to corruption. When it comes to civil things or something that is good, we are always number 198 or 200. when it comes to something that is bad, we are always 1 to 3 or 1 to 4.
It's crazy.
This is crazy. How can we continue like this as a people? They even diminish our own take here. Sometimes we want to do business, and when they hear that you are in Nigeria,
oh my goodness, they just look at your name and oh, where are you from?
Somebody told me a story last week here. He is a very handy man. He lives in this Rhode Island, in Providence, Rhode Island. He said he went to some kind of a gathering where professionals were talking, and everybody, 2 white men and 1 black man.
I was there when he said that.
When he got there, everybody introduced themselves as somebody come from Utah. And when he introduced himself as a Nigerian, everybody just, isn't that country where they said they steal credit card and do this and that? Everybody just started getting their drink and getting up. They left him on the table there.
That's
He
so
said he was embarrassed. You see? What can we do to our image?
That is not good.
When you start taking money from your country and lodging the money here, the money is not working for the people of your country. The money is working for the people of this country. When you did not provide light and energy for your own people, and companies are leaving your country to Ghana, to other places, it is bad for your people because the rate of unemployment is still going to be high. Obama was fixing all bridges in the United States, not because he has to. There's nothing wrong with those ones they were demolishing. He was just trying to, continue the maintenance culture and provide jobs for people in the construction business.
Right. And you know what is interesting in Nigeria? If the president of Nigeria decides I want to fix a road or a major road, maybe an interstate road, they give that contract to one of them who has a construction company. So it almost seems like a circle. The thing just goes, the money is just revolving around certain group of people. Imagine a toll road that was supposed to link Lagos to the other city in Victoria Island, Lekki area. The governor of the state gave that contract to the ex-governor's construction company. So what are we talking about?
I don't know. We've been talking about this for a while, and we cannot just stop talking. When we stop talking, we embolden them to still do the same thing.
Right.
So that is why we need to talk. It is not easy for us talking. Right. It is costing us more money. It is costing us time. It's costing us to almost repeat ourselves every time. Every time. And you see this governor, if they are not going to Europe today, they are going to China tomorrow. They are going to Japan and always traveling.
And just to add to what you just said, we're not going to stop talking. Because they are paying attention. Remember when you sent the message to Jonathan on his Facebook? Didn't you notice some changes? Didn't he reply?
He replied.
So we can't stop.
He replied.
We can't say it will be stupid.
And Rukayat, help me out. I'm getting scared now. You know what scares me? Not whatever they're gonna do to me. I've commit my life to to God.
Let me say it in Yoruba. What is sign?
Whatever happens. But what scares me most now is this. The very day we recorded a program at the Celestial Church of Christ, and I publicly called for the President Jonathan, to remove his security aid.
He did.
3 hours after the Inspector General of Police was gone, he was fired.
That's why I said to you, they are paying attention. You never know.
They always handle or deal with whichever one they want.
That does not even scare me.
So what's scaring you now? Mr. Heritage is scared?
No. Not being scared like that.
Okay, tell us.
But I appealed to Boko Haram that very day.
To leave the poor people alone.
To leave the poor people alone. and start, chasing the ministers, the commissioners, the governors. And you know what? 3 days after, Boko Haram announced publicly that they will start chasing, kidnapping ministers, governors, and somebody texted me and said, I think you know something about Boko Haram.
No, we don't. We're just doing what we know to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm facing
this.
the camera now. I do not know Boko Haram.
So you look like Boko Haram.
I hope everybody said I look like Boko Haram. I do not know Boko Haram. I don't subscribe to what they're doing. I don't like the way they're doing their things. I believe that if there is any grievance or grievances, they should sit on the table, especially when the government is calling them to sit on the table and negotiate.
Yeah.
I understand the fact that Boko Haram was wronged by the security people. That was the genesis of all these problems. The Nigerian police lied them down and shot some of them, including their boss. That was the beginning. That was the genesis of all this problem. But Boko Haram has taken this too far. Bombing innocent people, bombing churches, and killing women, children, infants, United Nations building, and stuff like that.
But when is the Nigerian police going to learn? Because I remember in the 80s, do you remember the Anini incident?
Yes.
It started with just a little problem with police officers who shot somebody they didn't have to shoot. And Anini just went on that madness and started shooting all the police officers. So please, the Nigerian police need to know that, you know, allow the law to take its course.
No,
if somebody you know, violates the rules and regulations or anything, or goes into any kind of problem, let's go through the due process of handling things as opposed to just shooting people and treating them like they are lower animals. That's somebody's brother, sister, anything.
Even you cannot,
you know,
you cannot kill people subjudicially.
That's exactly, that's my point.
You cannot say, I arrest you and I'm going to shoot you. The person has to see a judge. A judge has to condemn the person to death, no matter what he has done.
Right.
You do not have power to judge the person on the spot.
Remember what happened recently with the police? Was it a deputy police officer who shot
somebody, a protester in
Lagos? That's why I was so happy when the governor of Lagos ordered that he be arrested immediately and put in custody. Because
he arrested the guy.
Yeah.
He was marching the guy to the car. The guy was listening to him, and he shot the guy 4 times.
For no reason.
For no reason. Protesting.
The guy was like listening to you.
He was not armed.
Instruction. The guy was not armed. The guy protested. Just protesting the removal of oil subsidy. He was shot. He was dragged naked, and he was exposed naked.
Stripped of his clothes and.
If that is somebody's brother, that is somebody's son.
Maybe
what if his family? Exactly.
And a lot of the family members didn't even know what happened to him until they saw his picture on Facebook.
I'm going to ask you this question. You know how policemen were recruited in Nigeria?
No.
Do you want to know?
Yes, we want to know. I do want to know.
Before they recruit you as a police officer, you pay between 20,000 and 100,000.
What? You pay to be recruited?
Yes.
Well, that's not news, because I hear that these days if you want a job, you have to pay first before you get the application.
The idea is this: somebody is going to go get a loan to pay 100,000 to be recruited as a police officer.
So that explains all that.
When he gets out of police college or police training or whatever,
he has to pay back.
He will pay another 20,000 to be put on the road.
Are you serious?
I was a uniform. I worked at the uniform department before. I know the way it goes.
Goodness.
They call it BA. But my department is an elite department that does not have to go on the street and start begging for one time.
But you were not a police officer.
No. I was an immigration
officer.
And I was at the airport,
right,
where you don't have to see anybody dashing money to you. But to cut a long story short, you have to pay your boss to send you on the road so that you can get some money from motorists. And you can create artificial problem for people whose papers are even complete. You will delay them, and you find something and you rope them to something so that they can give you money. That is how you are able to pay all the loans you take to get into police college and to bribe for your boss who sent you on the road. And the money goes not to them alone. A percentage of that goes to the boss.
The boss,
a
yeah.
percentage of that, they said they use a percentage of that to maintain their cars, to buy stationaries at the police station because government is not providing for them. And to tell you the honest truth, I have some of them, when I was working in Nigeria, I had some of them as friends. They don't receive their salaries until 15th of the month.
Right, I've heard
until
that
the 20th of the month.
I've heard that.
Sometimes and the salaries were not even regular.
Right.
And anytime any one of them were killed, no, they just started insurance scheme for Nigerian police. The situation, the working situation was bad and it's still bad.
So why are we talking about corruption anyway?
So the government, the leadership laid the foundation of corruption for our police. The same thing with the customs. The same thing with the immigration. I remember one December. Thank God I don't have a wife, I don't have kids then. December, everybody was trying to buy a little ram, shopping for the... I told my mom, okay, you know what? The ram is on me this year.
Right.
That was the exact year I got my job. So transiting from joblessness to an immigration officer, I was boasting to everybody that, okay, the ram is on me this year.
What you want for Christmas?
You know what? Don't do anything, I'll buy the ram. On the 21st, they said they were going to pay on the 24th so that we can do Christmas and New Year.
Right.
There's no money. 24th, there's no money. 28th, no money. We got paid on the 17th of January.
So how did we take care of the ram?
No ram.
My
mom has to bail me out. You see, what if you don't have anybody to bail you out? What if you are even married and your children are waiting at home to get Christmas present, or just daddy will come and
nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing to show.
And would if I was posted on the road and I had a chance to twist some people and collect some money, don't you think I would have done it?
Of course. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Because you needed some money.
So sometimes it is not even the work of these police officers or this security apparatus. And do you want me to tell you the average salary of a policeman in Nigeria that you will give a 1967 gun to go and fight an armed robber carrying automatic machine gun?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell
AK-47?
The Nigerian police still use the archive AK-47.
Yeah, AK-47.
Kalashnikov.
That's why Shabbat says that he's not going to Nigeria.
My son said, no, Dad, I'm not going to Nigeria. I said,
why are they carrying those long guns?
They still carrying those long guns in Nigeria. Who carries this gun? And he was about 8 years old then.
Yeah.
He said, every time I see your police officers on the TV, they're always carrying gun and harassing people. I'm not going there. You see, when this has been registered into kids' mind,
right,
that all you see is brutality, police brutality. Although police are brute everywhere, we have some of them that are very brute here too. But you know what? The one in Nigeria has scaled all the fences because
too many bad heads.
Too many bad heads in Nigeria. But let us discuss the take-home of police officers in Nigeria.
Don't shock me.
Do you know how much it take home?
No.
An average police officer in Nigeria receives about $300 monthly.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
$300?
That is $45,000. No, it's not even up to that. About $200 a month. I am telling you honestly.
So there's really no motivation to go out there and put yourself in harm's way.
So they have to, exactly. So you want to go die because of 30,000 naira, 40,000 naira? Will you chase an armed robber because of that with Kalashnikov that is meant to fight 67? Biafra war?
No, when they kill you, your family
is exactly.
Suffer. Nobody's going to take care of them.
Mobile officers in Nigeria, nobody is telling me this. I was an eyewitness. Mobile officer can be transferred from Kaduna State to Lagos State. They will have nowhere to sleep. They will take their showers on the road at about 4 a.m. before anybody starts coming out. Because I've seen it several times. They will use the corridor of a primary school. They will lodge themselves break into a primary school and sleep there overnight. Because that is why they call them mobile.
Mobile, so you get to a city and you can't stay in a hotel or something?
There's no provision. Hotel? They can't even go to barracks. Ordinary police barracks because they were carved out of the ordinary police. That is why they call them mobile.
Yeah, you always used to wonder why they call them mobile.
Mobile, so they can use, if you get closer to them, they stink. Because these guys don't take shower for 3-4 days. And they take their shower. I was coming from the airport at about 2 a.m. because one of the flights I was working on was delayed. And I was on afternoon duty. I was supposed to close by 11. But the flight was delayed, so we have to wait. Some of the night shift, I was actually stationed to wait at Kita for a special, what do you call it, personnel that is coming from South Africa. We have to, we have to refuse the person entry to Nigeria because then he was having a South African visa during apartheid. It was during apartheid time. So if you are flown to South, if you have been issued a South African visa, you cannot come to Nigeria then. So we got information that this man is going to be in Nigeria. He was the chief executive of Nigerian Hearst then. So I was detailed to do the job. So the flight was delayed up until about 1 o'clock. So I left the airport around 2 a.m. I was coming to my house in Agege from the airport. And when I got to the local airport, I just see flashlights. They stopped me. I was in uniform too. So those people who stopped me were in uniform, mobile uniform, with their big truck along the side. And when they got to me, they saw uniform, so we greeted each other. And oh, officer, what? Where you? It's almost 3 a.m. I said, well, I just closed. They said, okay. Some of our people they are taking their shower there. Can you wait for about 2? You have any woman in the car? I said no. Then I said, okay, you can go. And they cleared the path for me to go because they barricaded the road.
Because they were taking shower?
Yeah, 2 of them were taking shower. After that, the 2 that was taking their shower will finish and
then the next 2 will go.
Exactly.
So at that point, you don't want anybody to go.
drive.
You cannot go that towards that area. You will be moved. I was moved. I was like, what if I am a mobile officer and I was sent to Bauchi State? Will I
just go and park in the middle of nowhere and take a shower at 2 a.m.
That is it. The only thing they rely on is their gun. Probably if I have failed to stop, they will have just shot me and placed another gun on my car and said, okay, he was an armed robber. Okay. That is what they do to a whole lot of Nigerians.
Goodness.
Planting evidence or evidences. So that has been a lot of what was happening. And I still have colleagues in immigration. If I lie, they will see this and they will tell.
Of course, they call you like Mr. T.
So the government has a hand in why our security system are not working. The security people were poorly paid. I got into immigration together with a friend. He's still serving. I cannot mention his name because he's still serving. That was about 20-something years ago. The guy is still wearing. The guy got promoted over 20 years. He got promoted about 4 times. Over 26, 27 years. What is the encouragement in such a thing? And it's not like if he's not passing all the.
Because you have to know somebody in order for you to climb up the ladder.
Gosh.
Any establishment.
And his salary is not up to 3. The last time he told me about $400 a month.
And this is a guy that's been there
for more than 2 decades.
Years now.
Almost 3 decades.
1984.
What else can we say?
I don't know how old some of you guys are in 1984.
You were so old, for real.
Anyway, you see, that is the lot. It is like a pendulum. It swings on this side and swings. When you want to blame the police for not doing a good job, what about the leadership? The leadership that will ask a police officer to carry their bags.
Bags of money. We're talking about money.
I've seen a police officer shading an expatriate with umbrella. Is that the job of a police officer to hold umbrella for an expatriate?
You know, right?
I've seen a police officer that will carry Ogamadam, his boss, you know, you were to secure the house, not to become their domestic servant.
Right.
I saw a picture of Obama moving a chair in the White House. Now, a Nigerian president will never touch anything.
Move a chair? Are you serious? His daughter will not move a chair.
His dog will not wag a tail. So we need to. This thing is rotten from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top, whichever way we want to look at it. But leadership should be by example.
Right.
Look, I keep on saying one thing. We just have to be disciplined. If the country is disciplined, a whole lot of things will follow. In 1983, when Tunde Ediagbon and Muhammadu Buhari became the head of state and the deputy head of state or whatever, Nigeria saw the best discipline they've seen in a while.
Nobody had to tell you this is not right. You just
knew. You cannot throw something on the road. You know you have to queue before you enter a bus.
Yes.
You know there should be no rush. You know you cannot just go on top of a pole and change your wire and redirect the lights.
You just knew the right thing to do.
You know. And that gives me the audacity to say that we know the right thing. We're not just doing it because we have seen our leaders, and our leaders are not doing the right things too. We take a cue from what if my boss is stealing 1 million, I better be smart enough to steal at least 100,000.
Right.
Or else I'm not going to eat, and my boss are not going to eat, because the dude that is stealing all the money is not going to pay salary on time anyway.
My goodness.
How is he going to pay salary on time? He has stolen all the money. He stole all the money, so how is he going to pay salary on time? Which leads us to the same thing about this oil subsidy. Some people, now, the oil subsidy has been going on for so long. You want to tell me that the leadership does not know that some marketeers or some people that are importing these things are putting some money into their own pocket? Of course they know.
They do.
They share it with the ministers and the government officials.
Right.
So why should they talk?
They don't care. It's not about the masses. It's about what is going into their own pockets.
Right. About what they can get.
Thank you. So what are we talking about? But what is the fair way forward? Because I keep on saying we cannot talk like all day and don't profile a way forward. What is the way forward, Miss Rosemary?
I don't know.
Miss Rukaya?
I don't know.
If people on top start doing the right things, I think things will get better.
We've been saying that forever.
Yeah, but this is a way forward. And this is a way
We've
forward.
been saying that forever. I'm done.
We can always appeal to the people at the top of affairs. Maybe good luck, as inept as he is, if he has the audacity to take the so-called cabal. Because Obayagbo has actually described President Jonathan's administration as the government of the cabal, by the cabals and for the cabals. So if he can just hold on to his cabal friends and just say, okay, the era of cabalism is over. My English, not Obayagbo's. The era of cabalism is over. We have to serve the people. Maybe Mr. Jonathan can earn our own respect.
But how is he going to do that when he has these former leaders that are breathing down his throat?
Maybe you just have to man up.
Thank you. That's where the problem is. The guy is not man enough to stand up to these folks and say, look, you had your own time. This is my time. Let me do it my own way for a minute, because it didn't work in your time. It's not going to work now.
Maybe if he just said, okay, you know what? F that.
Right.
I am going to be my own man.
Yeah, back off.
From now on, I'm taking order from nobody.
Exactly. Because I can't imagine Clinton ordering Obama to do this, and Carter is coming and saying, Obama, you have to do this, is what you need to do. And now he's torn between both of them.
Thank you.
I don't see that happening in this country.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come to the end of this program. And from me, it is good night from...
Good night and God bless. Thank you for watching.
Good night and God bless. Thank you.
ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ bá wa tún lù wá jẹ́. ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́bàá wa tó lù wá ṣe ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́bàá wa tó lù wá ṣe tẹ bá ń dìbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ mọ́ jòjòrò tẹ bá wọlé tán ẹ̀ mọ́ bàlújẹ́ o ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́bàá wa tó lù wá ṣe.